Hello, today is Thursday, February 13th, and we're looking at number 11 out of 100 floating eggshell paintings that I'm challenging myself to create this year. Technically, I made this painting yesterday, but it wasn't until the end of the day, so I figured I would just save the video for today. It's been a while since I've worked on this series. I spent the weekend painting in the Wisconsin Dells with a bunch of other Wisconsin artists for a winter plein air painting retreat. It was a really fun weekend. I put up a video on my YouTube channel. If you search my name, you should be able to find it. That recaps this weekend. It was a lot of fun. Got to make a bunch of paintings. At one point, it snowed. My palette was covered with snow. Had a great time. Check out the video. Thanks for following along with this series. I hope you'll stick around to see the other 89 paintings left to make. Let me know what you guys think. Have a nice day. Thanks. Today is Tuesday, February 18th, and this is number 12 out of 100 floating eggshell paintings that I'm challenging myself to create this year. Though I've been painting a lot over the last couple of weeks, this is one of the projects that has started to slow down in my studio. Lately, I've been working on a couple of illustration oil paintings for an upcoming portfolio submission. These eggshell paintings, though, are a really nice break away from those time-intensive projects, and they remind me how much I enjoy just looking at abstract shapes and thinking about color relationships. These make great studies for pigments that I don't often use in my palette, like quinacridone magenta, which was the main color of this painting. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you so much for following along with this project, and stay tuned for the other 88 paintings left to make this year. Have a nice day. Thanks. Hello everyone, today is Sunday, February 23rd, and we are looking at the making of number 13 out of 100 floating eggshell paintings that I'm challenging myself to make this year. So for this painting, I decided to start with a limited palette of interpretive colors. So I'm not worrying about trying to accurately portray the colors that I'm perceiving or observing in the eggshell. So I wanted to start out with four somewhat unique colors that I could locate out of my color chart book. And all of the colors that we're looking at in this painting stem from yellow ochre, phthalo blue, and cadmium green. A little bit of cadmium yellow medium at the very end for some of those highlights, but I'm going to save my palette from this painting and see if maybe I could use it as a starting point for the next painting in the series. So we have 87 paintings left to go. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Today is Tuesday, February 26th, and this is number 14 out of 100 floating eggshell paintings that I'm challenging myself to create this year. For this painting, I chose to use burnt umber and phthalo green as the two main colors of the palette. However, I did incorporate some of the palette scrapped muted olive green color from the last eggshell painting in this one as well. I had a lot of fun trying to convey the temperature shifts within a fairly monochromatic color palette, and trying to convey those thin breaks in the eggshell was a lot of fun as well. It took a while for this to read like an eggshell. I kept thinking lettuce wraps and lily pads for some reason. I accidentally signed the painting a little early before realizing I had missed a couple of the small details and contrasts on the top side of the shell. And we can see here what my palette looked like at the end of my 1-hour painting session. Not a whole lot had changed. Although it is really cool to see a trail of color harmony between paintings 13 and 14 in the project, I'm going to go ahead and save the rest of this paint for the next painting in the series. I hope you'll stick around to watch the other 86 paintings left to go. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Today is Friday, February 28th, and this is number 15 in my 100 floating eggshell painting challenge for this year. For this painting, I'm working with the palette scrapped sort of muted green mixture that I decided to use as the background color for this painting. That green is coming out of the last painting session in this series, and this is kind of the new idea I have for the project right now, where at the end of each painting session, I'm going to scrape my palette and mix that color together and use that color to center the palette for the next painting in the challenge. By doing this, I'll end up with a visible history of color harmony throughout the challenge that I'm really excited to see unfold. So we can see at the end of this session where my palette ended up and how I'm scraping it into one kind of olive green color that I'll use in the number 16 painting in the challenge. Here are the last 3 paintings. You can really see the harmonies. I hope you'll stick around to see how the challenge progresses. Thanks for watching. Today is Tuesday, March 4th, and this is number 16 out of 100 floating eggshell paintings that I'm challenging myself to create this year. It's been a couple of days since I've worked on this project, so my palette scrapped color that I'm using as the background for this painting was a little bit dry on the outside. I had to kind of poke through the dried outer skin of the paint and decided that a burnt sienna and ultramarine blue palette with this green would be a pretty interesting starting point. I mostly used just those 5 colors that you saw mixed on my palette towards the end of the process to enhance the highlights on the top of the eggshell. I did bring a little bit of cadmium yellow medium, but overall it was a really fun painting to make. The color starts to look close to some of the brown eggshells that I've been painting too, so that was kind of a funny surprise. But here are the last 4 paintings in the challenge. You can see the harmony there, and I hope you'll stick around to watch the remaining 84 paintings to go. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Today is Thursday, March 6th, and this is number 17 in my 100 floating eggshell painting challenge. So the first step today was to revitalize the palette scrapped color from the last painting to use as the background of this painting today. The rest of the limited palette is coming from cadmium orange and phthalo green, which is going to give me this really beautiful, rich spectrum of temperature in a fairly monochromatic palette. The vantage point of the eggshell today is kind of straight on without seeing the whole of the eggshell, so it appears very flat. But it was fun to try to convey the volume from this side of the eggshell and to really pop those highlights with more impasto areas of oil paint. It's been a really fun series to watch unfold. I'm excited to see where things continue, and this will be the color for painting number 18 in the series, so stay tuned for the remaining 83 paintings left to go. I hope you enjoyed watching and have a nice day. Today is Wednesday, March 12th, and this is number 18 in my 100 painting challenge of floating eggshells. I started by scraping and mixing a single color from my self-portrait painting session and created this 5-color limited palette, which included the palette scrapped color from number 17 in this eggshell painting challenge. I really enjoy how this painting gives off kind of an Xbox or Mountain Dew colorway feel. I'll probably take some inspiration from this limited palette for future paintings, whether they're made in my studio or outdoors in plein air. So again, I chose to scrape the remains of this color palette into a single color that I'll use in the palette for number 19 in the series. I hope you'll stick around to watch the remaining 82 paintings left to make. I hope you have a nice day, and thanks for watching. Today is Thursday, March 13th, and this is number 19 out of 100 floating eggshell paintings that I'm challenging myself to make this year. So my palette for this painting is starting with that dark bluish gray that was the compilation of the palette from painting number 18 in the challenge. I added a small amount of cadmium red light to open up a warmer side of this very muted color palette. It was a lot of fun to work with subtle shifts in light to dark, but also in warm to cool on the surface of the eggshell. I decided to compile what was left of this palette to also use for painting number 20 in the challenge. It's been a fun way to create overlapping harmonies in the palettes of the paintings. I hope you'll stick around to watch the remaining 81 paintings left to make. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. It's Friday, March 14th, and this is number 20 in my challenge to make 100 floating eggshell paintings from direct observation this year. The palette for this painting started with a muted gray color that was compiled with the remains of my palette from number 19 in the challenge. I created a color string starting with alizarin permanent and burnt sienna, which was then tinted to create different values. I added a small amount of cadmium yellow medium to warm up the brightest highlight, which we can see along the top right part of the eggshell. I enjoyed studying the geometry and the sharp angles in this painting, and it feels really good to hit this milestone in the challenge, which is motivating me to create 3 to 4 of these paintings per week moving forward. I scooped up the palette to create a single color, which will be the basis of my color palette for number 21 in the challenge. I hope you'll come back and watch the remaining 80 paintings left to make. I hope you have an excellent day. It took me 20 videos to realize that that joke was right there, but, better late than never.